My name is Paa Kwesi Schandorf. Welcome to Prime Business. Let's start off with two Chinese firms dealing in footwear and accessories at the Central Business District of Accra have been handed over to the Regional Criminal Investigations Department, CID, for allegedly issuing fake value-added tax VAT invoice. This followed an exercise by the authority which showed that two wholesale firms named Huan Feng and Trading and Zheng's Investment Company at the Zongo Lane in Accra were issuing fake invoices. Here is a report.
This forms part of an ongoing exercise by the Ghana Revenue Authority to clamp down on businesses and individuals evading tax in the country. The two Chinese stores were operating in the Central Business District with fake invoices and fake receipts for customers. GRA Area Enforcement Manager for the Accra Central, Joseph Annan, has been interacting with Joy Business after the operations.
They were able to chance on this taxpayer who is issuing his own invoices. I wouldn't even call it invoice. That is it. It's a piece of paper with their stamp on it, and that is good enough for them as an invoice or a receipt. This is an infraction on our law. And what is going to happen is that we're going to assess them preemptively, and that will be paid immediately. But then we'll ask that a full audit is conducted on them. But they have their own invoice that they are not supposed to use, but they are using. So it makes it difficult. We take it to a school of languages for translation, and then they pay for it. But why should you even do that when you know you are subject to our laws and you must keep your records in a language that we can understand?
The team from the Ghana Revenue Authority moved to East Legon, where a plush event center and trading company, The Icon, has been operating without registering with the GRA for tax payments. The team decided to lock the facility to restrain the owners and customers from doing business until the registration process is concluded. Chief Revenue Officer at the Office of the Commissioner General, Nathaniel Tete, told journalists that the company will be made to comply with the law and pay penalties before it can resume operations.
They have not registered with Ghana Revenue Authority. And being an event center and a hospitality business, it is a service they are providing for those who want to use the facility. So they are to register with Ghana Revenue Authority, charge VAT, value-added tax, on the charges they make, and then pay same to GRA at the end of the month. But as they are not registered with Ghana Revenue Authority, they are not charging the VAT. So, and the registration, once they've not registered, we have to force them to register. So we did two activities this afternoon. We collected some few documents to see whether we can see what the activity they've done for the year. Then we've locked up some portions of the facility to give them restrictions, to force them to go and register. And when they register, the facility will be open for them.
All efforts to get managers or the directors to speak to the media was not successful.
Away from that, the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Dr. Amishadai Owusu-Omoa, has affirmed his outfit's commitment to meeting its 2022 revenue target. According to him, the authority is committed to achieving its domestic revenue target for the year. Dr. Owusu-Omoa has been speaking at the 12th Annual General Meeting of the Ghana Revenue Authority Cooperative Credit Union.
Speaking at the 12th Annual General Meeting of the Ghana Revenue Authority Cooperative Credit Union, Dr. Owusu-Omoa said, though revenue projection has been revised downward, the authority is working assiduously towards achieving the old target. He further encouraged taxpayers to be law-abiding and continue to file their returns to help develop the country.
In the mid-year, this target was revised to 72. But we as a tax authority is still focusing on the 80.3 billion. And we are making very, very steady progress. And therefore, we want to commit to assure Ghanaians that we are working towards the 80.3 billion and want to encourage every taxpayer to take the opportunity and make sure that they pay their taxes. Even though the times are hard, if you look at various opportunities that you have, you should be able to settle, because we still need the taxes to be able to make the times better. And therefore, we cannot say that because times are hard, we will not pay our taxes.
On the benefit of the union, the treasurer for the Ghana Revenue Authority Credit Union, Kwesi Schandorf, said, besides the interest one earns from saving and investing with the union, participants can access soft loans, mortgages, vehicular loans, and support for small businesses. He further stated that the consolidation of the various arms of the Revenue Collection Agency as one has boosted membership and enrollment and increased assets of the union.
In fact, our membership growth. Beginning now, credit union.
What helped us in our membership growth was when we integrated our revenue agencies, customs, IRS, and RAG. We gradually introduced the credit union to the various divisions, and we have since expanded across the nation.
The benefits are if you become a member of the credit union, because you have a lot of stuff. I mean to be mentioned on Mudinwaha.
The benefits are enormous. The credit union has provided loans, mortgages, and vehicular loans. Aside that, you also earn interest on your investment.
Now, if it comes to vehicle there, and because it's a necessity, I know it's very common.
The 12th annual general meeting of the Ghana Revenue Authority Cooperative Credit Union was held at Nat Hall and was under the theme Building Sustainable Credit Unions to Withstand Disruptions.
Now, some Forex bureaus could soon lose their licenses if they are found to have been involved in illegal Forex transactions, which contributed to the current pressure on the Ghana cedi. This will, however, be subjected to the outcome of the ongoing investigations being undertaken by the Bank of Ghana. Dr. Franz Joseph is the Director of Financial Stability at the Bank of Ghana and has been speaking on PM Express's Business Edition.
Every Forex bureau is monitored. Every regulated institution by the Bank of Ghana is monitored and is supervised. And so when it gets to the crunch and the sanctions will have to be applied, sanctions will be applied. The Bank of Ghana will not hesitate at all in applying sanctions to institutions. And we apply sanctions to institutions that we regulate every now and then, including Forex bureaus.
And what is the number here are we looking at? I mean, these rough numbers of these Forex bureaus that are under investigations, and when the investigation is concluded?
Well, it's ongoing. You know, we have various tools and framework and methodologies that we use mystery shopping to check whether institutions are doing the right thing. We do normal supervision, and we do unannounced entry to find out whether a bureau is doing what it has to do and so on. So some of these things are things that we use to pick various, and of course we get alerts as to what one is doing and so on. But the rule of the game is evidence, so we make sure that we gather enough evidence, and if we have to sanction the bureau, we sanction.
Dr. Joseph Franz is the Director of Financial Stability at the Bank of Ghana. Now, the Ghana Employers Association is entreating the government to leverage the IMF program to build strong institutions and a resilient economy capable of withstanding prevalent global shocks. According to Chief Executive Officer Alex Frimpong, efforts in such direction would cushion businesses and propel them to address the challenges that confront employers. He spoke to Joy Business at the 62nd Annual General Meeting of the association. My colleague James Sean has more in the following report.
The Ghana Employers Association at the annual general meeting commended government for taking the bold step to seek support from the IMF. Speaking on inflation and policy rates, Chief Executive Alex Frimpong entreated banks to implement an effective identification system to identify buyers and sellers in currency transactions on the Forex market, to enable banks monitor the flow of foreign currency, to help in stabilizing the exchange rate.
Well, I think that is the obvious choice for us to get out of this difficulty. So once the health of the economy is challenged, and that is the only option available, we need to throw our weight behind government to make sure that we are able to get out of that. Then businesses can really put its work together and sustain their businesses. If there is any other option, we will support that. But at the end of the day, if the intervention of the IMF is what will bring back the life of the economy, we are all for it.
He further asked government to consult widely in the design and the implementation of enhanced domestic program.
As businesses, I'm sure we are suffering even more than employees, because when employees require salary increase, it is the businesses that are going to respond. So if the business is not growing, if the business is stagnant, if the business is bleeding, I'm wondering how the business can survive enough to meet the changing needs of employees in a situation like this, where it is not through the fault of any employee. We are all in it together. So this calls for dialogue, negotiations, discussions, because without the survival of the business, I'm not sure employees can also survive.
This year's annual general meeting is under the theme Business in the Midst of Macroeconomic Challenges.
The Planting for Food and Job program has so far generated 50 billion cedis worth of farm produce since its inception. That's according to the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Akoto, speaking at the launch of the 38th Farmers' Day celebration. Dr. Akoto re-emphasized that the 2.6 billion cedi investment made by the government into the initiative has yielded expected results.
The Ministry of Food and Agriculture has launched the 38th Farmers' Day celebration. The Minister, Dr. Owusu Akoto, said farmers are worth celebrating since they play an important role in the economic development of the country by providing food and export earnings for the nation. According to him, farmers have made good of government's investment in its flagship program, Planting for Food and Jobs.
In the 5 years of Planting for Food and Jobs, government has spent 2.6 billion Ghana cedis. 2.6 billion Ghana cedis to subsidize just 2 inputs, improved seed and fertilizer. If you convert this at the exchange rates existing at the time, we are talking about something like $450 million US. And what did we get from the farmers out of this? If you multiply the prices with the quantities, this 2.6 billion Ghana cedi investment generated 50 billion cedis worth of farm produce for this country.
This year's Farmers' Day celebration will be held in the Eastern region. Regional Minister Seth Kwame Echampon stated that his outfit is honored to host the event as the region is one of the largest producers of staples in the country.
We in the Eastern region are strategically positioned to grow, develop, and lead the industrialization agenda. The theme for this year's Farmers' Day celebration, accelerating agricultural development through value addition, has all the essential ingredients in our Eastern Commodity Satellite Market Fair. And our concept will seriously be adored in this year's event. At this point, I wish to indicate that on behalf of the Eastern Regional Coordinating Council, the chiefs and good people of the region, we wholeheartedly accept to host this year's National Farmers' Day celebration.
Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture, Yao Frimpong Ado, highlighted some benefits sponsors of the Farmers' Day will enjoy.
In the Platinum package, the benefits are these: acknowledgement in the media, advertise company's logo on sponsors' billboard at the Deba ground for telecast, advertise company's logo in event brochure, submit a soft copy of company logo in JPG picture file format when presenting your donations. Full page color print company's advert with felicitation messages to farmers and fishers in the National Farmers' Day brochure. Photo opportunity for presentation of package to the Ministers of Food and Agriculture and Fisheries and Agriculture Development. Branding some sections of the principal route and outside perimeter of the Deba ground.
This year's theme is accelerating agricultural development through value addition.
A scientist, Professor Kenneth Danso, has reiterated the importance of genetically modified organisms to Ghana's food security. Speaking on the sides of the Open Forum on Agriculture Biotechnology Ghana Awards, he indicated that the role of journalists in highlighting the benefits of GM crops to the agricultural sector cannot be overemphasized.
The Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology Ghana, a biotechnology advocacy group, has acknowledged some journalists on their reportage of genetically modified organisms Chairman of the awards ceremony, Kenneth Danso, indicated that the stories done by the journalists have helped in shaping the perspective of the public on genetically modified organisms.
Looking at the stories, it shows that GMO has potential to address three fundamental issues confronting us. One is food insecurity. With GMO, when the genes are modified and becomes a genetically modified organism, traits that will enhance the yield of the farmers have been put into the crop. And therefore, it increases the yield, ensuring food security. Now, with the yield increase, it's also associated with increase in the farmer's income. The advantage is that it's going to reduce the farmer's cost in farming by reducing the number of times you have to buy the pesticides. So it is for this cause that biotechnology or GMO plants are being advocated for.
National Coordinator for Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology, Dr. Richard Ampedua-Meao, said he hopes the awards would motivate more journalists to help disseminate information about genetically modified organisms.
The articles this year were highly competitive, as the chairman said, and it was at a point very difficult to decide who should win in a particular category because the marks were so close to the extent that we had to, for the first time, we had decimal points or fractions to be able to distinguish between one and the other. So it was keen. The unfortunate thing is that most of our awardees are from the south. We thought that our colleagues also in the north would have written similar articles for entries, but we're hoping that next year onwards we'll have good articles from the north as well.
Here are some awardees expressing the excitement.
I presented 3 stories, and the one that I think won me the award has to do with putting the hopes of farmers on shelves, if I have my headings correct. That is what won me the award. I'm so happy that at least our efforts are being recognized.
It's exciting that at the end of the day, all your hard work is seen and then it is rewarded. It's an uncovered area. It's an area that a lot of people are not moving towards, and there's a lot of things that people need to know about the genetics, and so it's one interesting area that I would really want to venture into. Stopping more of the gender and venturing into sciences and the agriculture.
Daikin Ghana, an air-conditioned distribution firm, is calling for more investment in the electronic industry, according to Chairman and President for Daikin Middle East and Africa, Masaki Miyataki. More engagement is needed within the sector to support the economy. Speaking at the launch of one of its new products, he said the company was bent on creating more employment.
According to Mr. Miyataki, workshops and capacity building should be key in ensuring the growth of the sector. He maintained that Daikin Air Conditioning will continue to ensure customer satisfaction through efficient after-sales service.
Of course, we would like to introduce our latest product. So the high efficiency, the very high quality product. But our task is that not only introducing products. We would like to listen to the market voice, and we'd like to introduce our proper solution. Not only product, and I would like to help the designer, the consultant, the engineering company, relevant our customers. We will provide every solution, the entire HVAC system solution, and then our mission, we will provide our every skill to each country's young engineer, engineer.
Managing Director for Forex Cooling Ghana, Mario Yazbeg, told Joy Business that its air conditions are durable and the company will continue to offer quality and reliable products.
The best benefit that we have is our homeland, Ghana. Efficiency, power saving, and energy efficiency. The environment is our main worry. because we all live in the same area. If we don't live in a clean environment and we don't save energy, there is no dead end. It's for the future of our children and the future of our country, Ghana. There is always a challenge to improve. Actually, for the meantime, before we used to have R22. Now we have R32. So we are always, as Daikin manufacturer, improving and working and trying to find the best solution for the future. Well, if I say that we are 100% efficient, it's never 100%. There is always a challenge and there is always better to do.
It's now time for the stock market review with Head of Trading at Republic Securities, Patrick Edem Agama.
The stock market saw activities in 24 equities this week, with total volumes traded recording a significant rise by 285%. Total values traded also surged by 59% to 12.1 million Ghana cedis. MTN again dominated both trade volumes and values. The composite index fell slightly on the back of 7 laggards to close at a year-to-date of negative 10.38%. The financial stock index also dropped by some points to close at a year-to-date of negative 3.65%. 10 movers were recorded this week with 3 gainers and 7 losers. SIC, Bob and Access were the only gainers, whilst Ecobank Ghana, MAC, Stanchart, GCB, CAL, EGL and GGBL were the losers.
Yes, I will draw the curtains. My name is Paa Kwesi Schandorf. For more, log on to www.myjoyonline.com. But I leave you with some updates across the globe in the world of business.